現実はなんとなくスーパーな私たちの日常走り出した Stay as fortune 笑わないでいてみた魔が差した変わりそうで変わらないのはなぜだろうね目覚めし力目覚めぬ想い勝手に暴れるな誰でも本当は好きかもね大げさでかっこよくなりたいなりたいなりきれる心って素敵現実はなんとなくスーパーな私たちの日常のオーバーラ待っていつの間にかそれさえも楽しんでいるよだからときめいた秘密の中で触れ合いたくなったねどうしよう優しい言葉かけてあげたいそんなこと今さらね無理かな I love you
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Let's Pull the Trigger on a podcast. The podcast where we have a confession to make. We were both Chunnibyous in school, and I have never lived that guilt down. Ever. Or that embarrassment, I should say. I don't know about guilt. Guilt's weird to say. I'm Fire Prince Lily, and I am joined by my good friend, Dr. Sea Monster. How you doing, Doc?
Just fine. And first of all, I think you should speak for yourself.
Oh, should I?
Because, I don't think I've ever quite grown out of it. Because, I think... Because it's actually kind of just a normal human thing. It's like magic. Everyone's does a little bit of magical thing now and then. It just varies from person to person and, how much you go in for it and... or kind of have dissuaded yourself from as you get older. It's not... I don't think it's a big deal. Everyone pretends that they can open automatically with their mind. Literally every human being does that.
Yeah, but do you believe you can do it?
Not really.
Then see, there you go. That's
when I was
difference.
a kid. When I was a kid, I was convinced that I could change traffic lights, though.
Well, yeah, everybody thinks they can do that.
Yes, that's what I mean. Everyone does these things at some point in their life.
Yeah,
it's
but
just
that's not really
and
a Chunni thing.
At some point, you realize that wait, I should just be writing this down, and you become a writer. Or you become or you realize, I should make my friends deal with my bullshit, and then you become a GM.
There you go. For those of you not in the know, and really just good for you, a Chunnibyous is somebody who really believes very deeply that they have special powers. Have you ever seen? You remember going to school, right? High school, and you saw those kids trying to turn Super Saiyan, believing they really, really could do it, that they just needed to push themselves. Yeah. That's those are Chunnis. That's that is what it is.
I think the most famous anime on this is Love Chunnibyous and Other Delusions, which I have not seen. But
I've seen a few episodes because I thought, oh wait, maybe the main character does actually have powers. No, sorry to spoil. She does not. She has a real good imagination, though.
I believe you may have been pleasantly surprised by this anime, because that is the setup of this show.
Yeah, it kind of is the plot of the show.
Do we want to talk about anything else before we go in, or just jump into it?
No, well, what have you been up to? I mean, other than How are you doing, honestly?
I live in Texas.
I know.
Okay, so it hasn't been awful for me. We didn't lose power for very long. We haven't. We still don't have water though.
Oh, that sucks.
So we've been making do with um, hand sanitizer and wet wipes.
Mm-hmm.
But the water is being fixed. It was supposed to be. A guy came out and tried to fix it today. Because we have water pressure,
Right, but you
but
have
it's
a
not.
leak somewhere, right?
Yeah, and we thought there was a leak. There was an external leak that was fixed, but and like the water runs for all the hoses outside,
Mm-hmm.
but none of the taps in the house are working.
Oof.
So it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Um, I have not had much hot food this week because we didn't really stockpile.
Right.
Uh, I've been drinking mostly vitamin water and bottled tea. Uh, could really go for a hamburger. It's a nice, like really nice hot hamburger with all the stuff on it.
Hamburgers would be nice.
Like fresh vegetables,
Right.
fresh bread, hot meat. That'd be really just the right thing.
Yeah,
Uh,
I am so sorry that Texas was so unprepared for that. Like, it's not my
uh,
fault, but you know.
no, yeah. Um, like I thought it might be. I thought it might be like not going to the grocery store for a couple days. Maybe the power is out for a couple hours at worst.
Right.
So like the amount of supplies I got was like a bag of M&Ms and some Pringles. In addition, like we didn't even like go fill up on regular groceries before this happened.
Right. Well, I mean, because it's Texas. Why would you? Like, oh, there's some snow coming to Texas. This will be gone within like maybe a day, maybe an afternoon. Like, it's
Yeah,
Texas.
because like we do we like I live in a hot swamp,
Yeah.
but we do get cold winter sometimes. It gets down into the 30s. It gets down into the 30s sometimes
Yeah.
for like a day. But
And then you pop right
this was
back.
like this was like a hard freeze with like a couple inches of snow.
Yeah.
Um, Wildly unprepared. But like by now, stores are reopening. Uh, Fast food places are reopening. I've I'm sorry.
You're fine.
I haven't watched more of The Witcher. I started watching The Witcher last week,
Yeah, but
and
I mean,
I've got a couple episodes left to watch on that. But I've been doing that. I been watching WandaVision. Watched this
mhm.
week's episode. This week's episode was a hell of an episode.
Right? It was Agatha all along.
Agatha all along. And I really can't wait to see where they're going with it.
It's gonna be a
Uh,
doozy.
because like this week on the show, Monica got her powers.
Which
Uh,
finally, geesh.
Agnes was revealed as Agatha Harkness.
Yep.
Um, the twins have disappeared. We saw the Darkhold. That's gonna be significant as hell.
Mm-hmm.
You know what the Darkhold is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Darkhold. For those that don't know, Darkhold is a very important evil magic book in Marvel Comics. it's tied to basically a supernatural character in one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
Like every mystical, not just supernatural, but every mystical or magical character in one way or another. And Quicksilver is still bouncing around somehow.
Yeah, well, see how that goes.
Yeah.
Anything else going on, or just like mostly just surviving?
Mostly just surviving.
Yeah.
I got some cards from the new Magic set.
Oh, how's that?
It's really cool. Like one of my favorite characters is like the main character of the set. It's got a cool Norse mythology theme, which is really fun.
So what is this, another Jace set?
No, I don't Jace. Jace is not my thing. I don't really play blue. Blue is not really my. I have decks that have blue in them, but like
Right.
blue's never been my favorite color, and the blue aligned characters don't really do it for me. I'm primarily black mana, some white and green. So like
Let's see.
the black man, so like the black, white, and green, the black, white, black, green, a lot type characters are more my favorites.
Gotcha.
So the character specifically is this one is Kaya. Kaya is
no idea.
Kaya is a black lady. She is a ghost assassin. She can murder ghosts.
Oh, all right then.
And she can like phase through objects and she's and like in addition to like all the general planeswalker powers, her main shtick is like assassinations. Are you familiar with Ravnica at all?
Yes, a little bit.
Kaya killed the Obsidian.
Oh.
She exterminated all of the old dead oligarchs on Ravnica. Took over the guild temporarily.
Wow.
But she relinquished it to Teysa. So Teysa is now in control of the Orzhov guild completely.
Huh.
And she was in the when Kaya was in charge of the Orzhov guild, she had this super snazzy outfit that was. I'm gonna admit, it looked really hot. It wasn't like skimpy or anything, but it was so slick, like the black and the gold and the white and the cape. So hot.
All right then.
It, if you're familiar with Magic from the past, you'd know that the art used to depict people, especially women, like really skimpily.
Yeah.
They don't really do like big titty chainmail bikini art anymore, but like that does not stop the female characters from being drawn very attractively. They are like they're more often fully clothed and with realistic proportions, but they're still beautifully drawn looking characters.
Right.
And Kaya is one of my favorites. Plus, she's got like a cool thing. We don't know where she is from in the multiverse. We don't know much about her backstory. Every time she shows up, she does something cool.
Oh, that's cool.
And she is so, and it's actually kind of funny because okay, so it's a Norse mythology themed set, and everybody knows what Norse mythology attracts.
Yeah.
We know this.
We know.
So when it was first announced, I made a post on Twitter saying, I really hope that they make Kaya, who's a black woman, the face of the set. I want her to be the main character of the set. I want her to kick ass and take names and be plastered over all the product and everything. And they did that, and I was right, and it was awesome.
Nice.
I called it. Hello?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, I called it.
You good deal.
Because everyone should remember that I'm always right. Usually. Often. Magic has a lot of cool person of color characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's always had a few, but like they've gotten a lot more diverse as far as the cast over the past 5 to 10 years, and I think that's pretty cool. Um, they've been working to get. They've had issues like in like the staff wise though. They've been working to do like some diversity hires, and like they have like diversity. They've hired like a very prominent black Magic community member as like a diversity consultant.
Right.
So they're trying to do better, I guess. But yeah, Magic's cool. I like it. Haven't gotten to play much of it yet. The cards from the new set look pretty cool. They brought back snow
Right.
covered stuff.
You talked about that before.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's about it for me. I have survived a terrible winter storm with most of my sanity intact,
Hey.
and I have been trying to like engage with some things to keep myself happy. Like I said, like I wouldn't have bought like any Magic cards, but like it's a new set, and I could use a pick me up, you know.
Right. All right. Well, cool.
What else? That's really it.
All right. As for me, I've been okay mostly. It's been a rough couple of days, personally. Grandmother's in the hospital. She had a fall. Apparently, the fall was so bad, she thought it was 1997 for a bit. She knows what year it is now, so you know that's an improvement. And I'm just very, very worried and concerned for her, and like what this means, you know, in the future. My grandmother like was in her 80s, I think. I know she was turning 75 a while back, so think she's in her 80s now. I could be wrong. I might be overshooting here, but because I'm a terrible grandchild. Great. That was good. Good job, me.
My grandmother is 84, I believe. Born in 37, so she's 84. Yeah, my grandmother's birthday was 2 days ago, so she got to deal with this for her birthday.
Fun.
Couldn't even get her some like fried chicken for a meal because everything was fucked up.
Right.
Everything was so fucked. It's a shame. But like, you know, maybe like next week we can go out and do something like, doesn't have to be fancy, but like something a little nice. It's like a break from all this. Assuming that, you know, things even are back close to normal next week.
Other than that, you know, just been consuming media. Like that time I got reincarnated as a slime, watching season 2 of that. Always great. They're getting to the places they want to get to. I guess that's the best way to put that. Without like spoiling things for people who don't read the manga, like I do religiously every month.
Yeah.
So they are just like, woof. It's crazy that they're like this on the heels of the manga, basically, is what I'm getting at. Like they're like so dangerously close. They're just like, and there's a light novel. I've already said this before, so you know, I could even just watching the anime get to a point where I do not know what's going to happen next, which is weird for me. But it is what it is. Wrestling's happening, and there's a lot happening in wrestling right now. Just a ton, and I don't even know where to focus to like talk about. because, as I talked about on this podcast sometime previously, Kenta from New Japan showed up in AEW and had a match in AEW, which is crazy because they were never ever going to work with AEW. But then Finn Juice, who's a tag team made up of Juice Robinson and David Finlay, they're tag team from New Japan, and they showed up in Impact Wrestling, which is crazy. So that's 3 different companies working together, and so that's insane, right? But then, like, something even crazier happened than that, and it didn't even need to have like New Japan or Impact involved to make it happen. It's like, it's that crazy. AEW is going to have the very first ever within the United States, televised within the United States, I should say, because it's a match type that has happened a lot in Japan because Japan's crazy, but nobody would let you do it in America, like for like a big promotion, because it's dangerous and like wrestling has a degree of danger and risk to begin with, and I haven't even mentioned the kind of match yet. I realize this, but just like the level they're going to take it to seems unnecessary, and I will still be watching anyway. At Revolution, which is the pay-per-view happening in a few weeks. It happens on the 7th. So a couple weeks. Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley will have a rematch for the AEW title, because Kenny won it off of John in December. But they're going to have a rematch. Which it's weird to me because every week on Impact, Tony Khan has a quote-unquote paid promotion to promote Dynamite. And this week he said, I got a big surprise for you, Kenny. And his big surprise, because I thought it meant that Okada was coming, because there's rumors that Okada is coming. Okada's huge in New Japan. Like, he's like a top guy. I thought that's what the big surprise was going to be. No, the big surprise was just a rematch with Jon Moxley, which would be cool in and of itself, right? Kenny's like, you know what? You're just never going to stop. You're never going to stop coming for this title, so I have to take you out for real. So what we're going to do, the rematch is fine. I don't care about the rematch. We could do that anytime. I'll wrestle you whenever. But our rematch is going to be an exploding barbed wire death match, which is just insane. Like I said, it's never ever been televised on American soil, ever. Even the ones that Terry Funk did with Mick Foley were shot and shown in Japan. Like, this is, nobody does this. Nobody. Okay. So the way it works, and this is the main event, so like the main event means that they no longer need the ring after that. They can get a whole new ring if they have to. So the way it works is the ropes are replaced with barbed wire, and then that barbed wire is electrified and rigged to explode anytime somebody touches it. And now, they are minor, explosives. They're not like gonna blow somebody's head off, right? It's not that dangerous. But it still can cause like burns and shit, on top of it just being barbed wire for ring rope. It is a level of insanity that I never thought I would witness, like, happening in real time.
Yeah.
And it seems wholly unnecessary. And for the savvy listener who watches wrestling, you're probably thinking, well, the wrestling barbed wire is gigged anyway. It's like, yeah, sure. Some of it is, and some of it's just actual barbed wire, because you have to have, that hint of realism. If somebody touches barbed wire, you're expecting them to pull back, a wound. There should be some blood. Now, with, like, lots of barbed wire, it'd be, like, crazy, like lots of blood, but they're not gonna like, full on put their wrestlers in a situation that could like vivisect them. So it'll be dangerous, even though there are precautions. And I think people forget that Brandon Lee was died of a blank, like a blank gunshot, like a gunshot of blank, and he died because of like the shockwave of the explosion. So it's a lot. It's a lot. And that's what's happening in wrestling, and I am losing my mind. And it's like I've got 2 weeks. 2 weeks until the pay-per-view. And I don't know how I'm going to contain myself. Other than that, there's a women's tournament for the number 1 contendership. And I'm so angry about it. Because of how it's being handled, that I really just don't want to get into it, because I could go on for a while. Maybe on Monday we'll do that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how Nathan's feeling. Do you want to talk about this anime? Because you seem like you really like it.
Yes, I'd love to.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I always just get full on cringe whenever I watch something with a Chunni in it, because I'm just like, oh my god, that was me. That was me.
I really do, and I had to really push myself push through like that's the first opening couple of scenes, but the cringe was real.
The cringe is real. So we watched When Supernatural Battles Became Commonplace, episode 1, Change, the alpha episode. So this anime opens up just super normal. It's a school. Kids are in class. It's, I believe, the fall. And just regular shit's happening. A character is like doing, cleaning up their classroom, which is like a trope in anime. I don't know. Like, because I never had to clean up any classrooms when I was in school. But they do.
That's a thing in Japanese schools.
Yeah, I know. I know it's like an actual thing. Like,
it's fostering sense of community and responsibility and whatnot.
Because isn't it that the classes themselves don't move, the teachers just move around, like for different periods?
I don't know, but like I think that specifically students like do small tasks at the school for the sake of like learning communal responsibility or something.
Right.
Like that is my understanding of it. I might be wrong.
Anyway, character cleaning classroom, and one of our main characters, because I would say there are 2 main characters. There's like a main group, but 2 of them are like the main character. I think that's
you got your tsundere and your Chunni.
Yeah, you got your tsundere and your Chunni. And we're following the tsundere around, and I should just hold up. Characters. Here we go. What is her name? Here we go. So we're following Tomoyo around. There we go. That's her name. She's got red hair, and she's one of the 2 main protagonists, in my opinion. But we're only on episode 1. I could totally be off on this. And she's narrating to herself because a crazy thing is going to happen at school today. But she's like, this is just a normal day like any other. So at the time, I never even dreamed that it would, get crazy. It would soon become a special day for all of us. And she's walking to the literature club room. That's her club. Because in Japanese schools, there are tons and tons of clubs you can join. Which I'm jealous of, to be honest. I know you went to school in Houston, so I don't know what Houston schools are like. No clubs at my school. 0 clubs.
Let's not get into that right now because it's a really complicated thing.
Okay.
But the long and short of it is, I did not go to high school.
Oh, right. Damn. Walked right into that.
It's okay.
One. I am sorry.
I'm not upset. I'm not upset or anything. It's just for the record, I do not have a high school experience.
Okay. Oof, that was okay. Let's move. Damn it.
It's okay.
Right. No, I know it's okay. I'm just like, that was like a real open mouth insert foot moment for me.
The cringe is real. Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. So we get a great shot of like her looking over this like fall tree as the leaves are blowing away, and we cut to her walking into the literature club, and she comes upon the other main character, which is our Chunni, and Ando. And he sucks. I mean, he doesn't, but he does. Just like I said, it just reminds me of who I used to be as like a kid, as like a high schooler, and I hate it. But he's screaming in pain. He's like, "Stay back! Oh, I don't know if you have to get away while I can still remain myself." Because he's pretending that there's a dark power in his right arm. And she just walks past him and just sits down. Like, she does not even, like, acknowledge this. And he's like, God damn it. Like, you just ruined the mood. Unlike the other club members, you don't play along. She's like, whoa, hold on. That's not true. I am not the only person who's fed up with you acting like a Chunni like this. Nobody else likes this. And he's like, no. All the others, like, go with it. And she's like, oh, really? Huh? Okay. Well, let's try it and see. He's like, okay, yeah, let's try it and see. So the next person comes in, and it was the girl who was cleaning up the classroom. She walks in very cheerfully. She's like, sorry I'm late. I had to clean up the classroom, but I'm here. And he is, once again, screaming, holding his right arm. And she's like, oh, no. What's wrong? She's like, are you all right? Hold on. I'll call an ambulance. He's like, no, don't do that. This won't be funny anymore. And she's already on the phone. She's like, hello, we need an ambulance. And he's like, he just grabs the phone from her. He's like, sorry, it's all better. Or we're very sorry we called. And Tomoyo's like, see, I told you, didn't I? And he's like, well, the next person who walks in, they'll totally play along with it. Maybe if I can devise a better way to express the danger I am in. And she's like, isn't that totally different from the goal? Whatever. So we cut to the next person walking in. The lights are out in this classroom, and he is like holding his head, screaming. There is like fake blood running down his face, and it's just like a little grade schooler, I assume, or maybe she's in middle school. I don't know. She's smaller than everybody. She's obviously younger than everyone. And she looks terrified. And he's like, oh no. Chifuro-chan, no, it's a joke. I wasn't expecting you to come today. I'm fine. It's just a joke. And she starts crying. And he's like, I'm so sorry. That's when the other club member, Sayumi? Well, I'll get it. So Yumi walks in, and she immediately puts him in like an armbar, and she's like, I didn't know you made it a hobby of terrorizing little girls until they cried. He's like, no, I'm sorry, that's not it. It was just a misunderstanding. Please let me go. Everything settles down. They're all sitting, and they're like, we're so sorry we scared you, Chifuro-chan. And she's like, it's okay. Ando acting weird is normal. And everyone's like, it's okay to play make-believe, Ando, but you shouldn't make trouble for others. He's like, it's called a simulation. It's not make-believe. How do you plan to fight your internal self when the day comes and your right arm begins to ache? And Tomoyo's like, I won't be fighting and it won't be aching. It's never going to happen. Nothing special like that is ever going to happen. You're in full Chunni mode every day. And how do you do this without getting sick of it? He's like, hold on. Are you really saying that that we're never going to get powers? That powers are never going to happen? How can you be absolutely sure that there's a 0% chance that one day we're just not going to Boom, gain superpowers. And she's like, come on, use your common sense. He's like, common sense? Ha, what is common sense anyway? Do you really think that common sense can express the truth of our world? Can your common sense explain the secrets behind how the universe originated all those millennia ago? The mystery of why life exists on this planet? And everybody's like, oh my god, here he goes again.
Master talks like a flat earther, and I don't like it. Well, he does.
What?
He talks like a flat earther. Like if you've ever interacted with
one
does.
Of yeah,
like a conspiracy theorist type, this is exactly what dealing with them is like. Yep. Wait, are flat earthers just Chunnibyous? Oh my god, flat earthers are Chunnibyous.
No knows. God. But everyone's like, oh man, here he goes again. He's always on these rants. And they're like, there's no greater nuisance than a defiant Chunni. And we cut back at him, he's like, Tomoyo, can you swear with certainty to God that superpowers don't exist in our world? That an evil power will never for all time dwell in my right arm? And as he pulls his hand out to express this evil power in his right arm, a bright light actually gathers in his hand. Which, god damn. And everybody's like, wow, you've really like upped your craftsmanship. This is pretty amazing. And they're like, how are you even doing that? He's like, this is not me. I don't know what's going on. They're like, hey, enough of this. You're scaring us because the light's getting brighter and growing bigger. He's like, but I'm not doing, oh no. And that's when the light just envelops the whole room and a little black flame appears on a bright white screen. This is when we cut to the opening, which is
your opening credits.
The opening credits, and they're cute. I like them. We get a kind of a feel for each character and sort of what their power is. I'm going to try to skip through because Crunchyroll doesn't have a skip credits button. There we go. Good job, me.
So it's actually kind of there's something pretty. There's one thing that's interesting about the intro, and I will come back to it later on.
Oh, okay. All right. So after the credits, we cut to the school again, and it says 6 months later, and we're back in class, and it's just a day like any other. Hadako, the club member who called for an ambulance, whose name I didn't say, informs Tomoyo that she'll be late to go into the club today because she got to clean the classroom, but she'll be there. And they're like, yeah, sure, got it, whatever. It's just like super average, like nothing ever happened. We watch Tomoyo walk to the literature club, and boom, there's Ando. He's screaming in pain again. He's like, stay back. And she's like, shut up. We're getting complaints from the other clubs. You seriously need to stop that. They're complaining about you screaming all the time. It's like, really? We're getting complaints? She's like, yeah, we are. With you shouting all the time like that, of course we're getting complaints. And besides, why are you acting like this since we're actually a part of that world now and have superpowers?
So him getting a superpower, he got a superpower, and it made him worse.
It made him worse. It made his Chunniness worse. Oh, you didn't even get a good superpower. It's like, you really just kill the mood. Yeah. And she's like, I told you, all the others are fed up with your Chunni acts as well. That's when Hadako walks in, and Ando goes right back to being a Chunni, and she's like, are you all right? I'll call an ambulance. He's like, I told you ambulances are a bad idea. She's like, then what should I do? He's like, it's hot. My body's burning up. He's like, oh, I get it. You're hot. All right, no problem. That's when she summons a huge just ball of water, and he's like, oh, wait a minute. No, this is not what I wanted. And she traps him in it. And he can't breathe. Tomoyo Tomoyo flexes her power, which is to stop time, which is busted. That's busted. Out of all their powers, that is the most busted.
Her power is Zawarudo.
Yeah. She stops time, pulls Ando out of the water where he was drowning, and puts him on the ground. He's like, oh my god, thank you so much. I was so scared I was going to die. And she's like, don't hug me, you're soaking wet. God damn it. Hadako puts away the water. She's like, okay. That's when Chifiru just teleports in. Like, wow, I still can't get used to you showing up like that. That's weird. She's and Chifiru's like, I'm already used to it. It's whatever. Sayumi walks in. She's like, why are you guys so loud today? Ando, please keep the commotions in this room to a minimum. And he's like, what, me? She's like, yeah, we're getting complaints about it. As she dries him with her powers. Her powers are weird, in my opinion. Like, I'm sure we'll get, like, a better view of them as the show goes on. But this
basically is just... she can restore something to its a default status.
Yeah.
But the point of that default status is arbitrary.
Yeah, that's her power. The two most busted powers in this group right now are Tomoyo and Chifiru, I think. Personally. But anyway, continuing on, she's like, yeah, the student council says we're getting a lot of complaints about the screaming coming from the literature club. And everybody's like, yeah, Ando, you shouldn't cause trouble for us. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. But Sumi's like, okay, since we're all here now, can we get started? And, like, yeah. She's like, okay, it's our monthly superpower checkup. We cut to commercial. Cut back from commercial. And now they're in a desolate desert area. And we see Hadako and Chifiru facing off against each other. Or, like, facing each other. And Chifiru says, all right, here I go. And she summons a ring of spheres. That's when Chifiru turns into, like, a tornado and blows them all away as they've been sent at her. She's like, I really wanted to burn them all up, but I changed my strategy this time. I think that I did good by doing that. And Chifiru's like, but after you burned them all up the last time, I made them so they wouldn't burn this time. Like, which is dangerous? Like, did you really want to harm Hadako? I don't get that. We get an introduction to their powers via Ando, who's, I guess, named them.
Yes.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yes, he has named everyone's powers.
He's named everyone's powers. Chifiru has world create. It is the very power of creation.
It is matter. It is conjuration. Matter summoning. Make items, and it also seems to be teleporting.
Well, because yeah, apparently she can just like even create space itself, which explains the desolate desert they're in. She created it with her powers.
Yeah.
Which is weird. It's crazy. Or maybe she just created a doorway to a desert. I don't know.
If you play D&D, the short girl specializes in conjuration magic.
Yeah, basically. As he's talking about this, Tomoyo just looks at him with a look of disgust that I can't recreate because it's so like she's just so like I can't believe this nerd. He's like, in contrast, Hadako's powers is called over element, the power to manipulate all 5 elements: earth, water, fire, wind, and light. Light's not an element, dude. I mean, okay. In certain lore, light is an element, But if you're going for like the more traditional 5 elements, you would think steel would be the one instead of light.
It depends on like the system, because in like China and Japan, it's fire, water, wood.
Oh, wood, yeah.
It's fire, water, wood, steel, and air, or
Right.
not steel. Fire, water, fire, water, wood, metal, and air. In Europe, it's fire, water, earth, air, and most of the time, but sometimes there's quintessence,
Right.
like a 5th element, and the 5th element is the most variable. It can be anything.
That's fair.
It's usually just called but like it's usually called aether or quintessence or something. In video games. It often is like light.
Makes sense.
Or something, or radiant or holy. But yeah, she's elemental. If you play D&D, she's an evoker. She uses evocation magic.
Yeah. Ando says, to be blunt, they're both invincible and they're cheating. They're cheating. Hokoto says, all right, here I come, Chifir-chan. Let's see. I suppose it's about time to start like pulling out all the stops, and I'm going to mix fire and earth to get magma. And the ground burst open. She's just going to take out Chifiru. Everybody's like, oh, looks like the battle's entered like a new stage. But before she can actually get the magma to Chifiru's already like blocked it off using her own powers. Like she's created a seal over where the magma would burst from. And they're both like, oh, that was pretty good, but I'm not done yet. No, I'm not done yet either. I'm not done yet. Me neither. Like, they keep going back and forth. And Tomato's like, wow, this is a lot of hostility. And Ando's like, yeah, they're getting a little too into this, which, you know, you're bad when the Chunni says you're too into something.
Yeah.
And that's when the club president, Sayumi, says, hey, Tomoyo, could you maybe put a stop to this? And she's like, sure, no problem. She stops time, and we cut back to Chifiru and Hadako, like, in chairs, in weird, awkward positions. They're like, that was enough. They're like, oh, I guess we overdid it. I'm like, yeah, you were trying too hard. It's just a checkup. There's no need to get that serious about it, is there? And I'm like, oh, yeah, we're sorry we got a bit carried away there. And it's very silly. And this is when we hear about Tomoyo's power, which is called Closed Clock, the power to manipulate time. She can't turn back time, but she can stop it or slow it down or speed it up at will. And she's like, why are you explaining all of this? We know this already. He's like, you know, good job, guys. You showed off your powers. You worked really hard to carry them both while time was stopped, right? Because she's like, why are you thanking me? Why are you congratulating me? He's like, because you worked real hard. And this is when she blushes. She's like, oh, I get it. I'm sorry. Hadako's like, oh, I get it. You also worked real hard. Thanks for your hard work. And they're like, yeah, it's real good work. She's like, no, I was not trying hard at all. I didn't do anything. Hadako's like, but still, you didn't have to go through all that trouble. You could have just walked over to us and we would have stopped right away. And Ando says, hey, you shouldn't point that out, because then she won't, use her powers again. She wanted to have a performance. And they're like, performance? She's like, yeah, a performance to fully showcase her ability to stop time. That's what that was all about. And Adako's like, well, why would she do that? He's like, because it looks... Sorry, what's up?
Pause.
Pausing. Unpause. Right. So Hadako's like, why would she put on a performance? And Ando's like, look, let's stop bringing attention to it and let her just feel self-satisfied in, like, the good job that she did. And Tomoyo's like, first she's like shrinking down, like, in embarrassment, and then she pops back up with anger. She's like, you've already said everything. And that's when Chifiru goes, oh, I get it. Tomoyo's also a Chunni. And this hurts Tomoyo so much he spits up blood, turns to stone, and crumbles. He's like, I'm never using my superpowers ever again. And Ando's like, you're up next, Tomoyo, but... well, I guess if you're fine since we've already seen yours. So next is Siiiigh-san. And she's like, but my powers haven't changed that much. As you can see. And she just restores everybody, Chifuru's outfit to good condition. And we are explaining that Siiiigh's powers is Route of Origin. The power to restore anything she touches to its original state. However, the standards for the restoration are still vague.
Which is the same power as Josuke Higashita from JoJo Part 4.
Huh.
And actually, that is going to be relevant when I do more commentary.
Ah, gotcha. Ando's like, I don't know if this is the best way to test how your power's coming along, but we don't have anything better to do with it. And she's like, okay, so that's it for everybody's checkup, right? This concludes our 6th superpower checkup. And Ando's like, yeah, we'll see you all again at the 7th. Hey, wait a minute! We still have the main event to go. I haven't done anything yet. And they're like, but your superpower is just, right? And Shafir's like, there's no need to see your superpower. He's like, you're all making fun of me. Fine, I'll just do it by myself. And he rolls up his right sleeve, and he starts making a chant, because of course he does. It starts with, I am the conqueror of chaos. And that's when the student council president walks in. Her name is Mirai Kudo. And she's like, excuse me. And they quickly put the desert away. And she's like, and they're like, oh, hey, Kudo-san, what's going on? What brings the student council president to our literature club room? And she's like, we've been getting a lot of complaints about the literature club, so I'm here to inspect it today. They're like, inspect us? Like, yeah, I already warned you several times that we were getting complaints about all the loud yelling and the screams, and it's all coming from this room, so I'm here to see what's up. And the literature club looks very worried. Kudo is like, wait, why do I smell burning? What have you all been doing in here? Is this drugs? That's when Ando walks up, and I can't believe this works. I hate this works, because it is so cringy. This is like the most cringy Ando has been the whole episode, and he's been really cringy thus far. But he says, why don't you call it surveillance instead of an inspection, student council president? I've already figured out your true identity. Everybody's like, what are you talking about? What are you doing? And he's like, how long will you continue to act as this false you? Is secretly making contact with us your way of doing things? But I am no fan of dragging things out this way. Why don't you just show us your true self and entertain me? And that's when Tomoyo punches him right in the fucking face with boxing gloves from Kill la Kill. Really great. Love it. She's like, you shut up, you Chunni. And they're like, God, why are you like this, Ando? And Siiiigh-chan's son is like, oh, I'm so sorry that he's like this. His mental age is on par with a 5-year-old. But just as she's saying that, the student council president says, how? And they're like, what? How did you figure out what I am? And they're like, wait, what? She's like, don't play dumb. You're right about everything. I've been keeping you under constant surveillance. The problems with your literature club were just an excuse. I covered up who I was, and I tried to secretly spy on you all. As she's talking about this, we see a scene of Ando's power. He's just got a dark flame in his hand, and the student council president is like, oh my god. She's like, you who have awakened to superpowers just like I have. And Ando's like, wait a minute, you have superpowers too? She's like, stop acting surprised. You're the one who already said you figured it out. It's like...
Okay, so I laughed so much at this scene
I laughed?
because I laughed a lot because it really it really just hit me just right because like it clicked what the gag with this character is. He spits so much bullshit that he keeps being accidentally right.
Right. Yeah.
And and honestly that really works for me. I find that hilarious. He's not right. He doesn't know what's going on, but he says so much shit that by law of averages and just the weird rules of the world he inhabits, he keeps being right.
Yeah, exactly.
And I get a big kick out of that.
I mean, I laughed too. I was just like, I also hurt just because it's so cringy.
Like it's cringy it is definitely cringy to watch. Maybe it doesn't bother me so much because I didn't ever have much of that. I was never like a Chunni in social situations.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But she's like, haven't you already figured out that I have superpowers? Like, didn't you say I did? He's like, yeah, that's right. I surely did. Siiiigh is like, did Ando's Chunni power just help us in exactly the wrong way? He's like, so, Kudo, what's your objective? And she's like, if you can beat me, I'll tell you. Like, it's a whole thing. And they're like, beat you? You want us to fight? She's like, relax. I'm not requesting like a fight to the death or anything. She's like, though, I do hope you brace yourselves for a broken bone or two. And they're like, okay, Ando, what are we doing here? Should I beat her with my clothes clock? And he's like, hey, just leave it to me. I'll do it. And they're like, what are you talking about? Your power sucks. He's like, don't worry about me. If it comes down to it, my dark personality will lend me strength. They square off against each other in the literature club room. Face to face, he's like, I'm more than a match for you on my own. Allow me to show you my power known as Knock on Hell's Door. Very cool power name. Exactly the kind of dumbass power a Chunni would come up with. There's like a lot of just dark background around him. A door to hell is behind him. That's not his power. That's just him imagining things. And this is when he says, do you know why I wear this blazer to school every day? And everyone's like, yeah, because it's the regulations. He's like, no, not for the regulations. It's a restraint. This blazer is embedded with various magical seals. And it weighs over 100 kilograms, and he throws it. Hanako catches it. She's like, it isn't that heavy. This is when Ando says, way to go, Hanako. You can manipulate gravity, too. She's like, I can? Really? And they're like, no, he's making it up.
I really love this whole sequence because it is clear that getting powers has just made him worse.
It made him way worse.
So much worse.
But Haruka's like, wow, he's so focused. And Tomoyo's like, yeah, but it doesn't matter how much he focuses. His superpower is just... Suyumi says, let's believe in him. Ando has engaged with his superpower more earnestly than any of us. Let's place our bets on him. Chifuria says, hey, Tomoyo, it's okay. When the chips are down, Ando's the kind of man who comes through at times like this. Which, everybody's placing a lot of faith in him right now. And it's so bad. He says, I am the conqueror of chaos. He messes up his own line. I'm like, oh no, he stuttered. He's like, forget the invocation. Dark and dark. It's like, what? He left out the invocation? And he just summons a dark flame to his hand. It's like, this is the beginning of the end. This is when Kudo says, you showed me. You showed me your power. Your power is now mine. And she absorbs dark and dark from him and brings it into her own hand. He's like, dark and dark. Kudo, does that mean your power is... She's like, that's right. My power is to steal the powers of others. She's like, no way. This is when a spotlight drops down on him. And he's like, not dark and dark. That's been with me for the past 6 months through the good times and the bad. Every day I woke up and said, good morning, dark and dark. Every night when I went to bed, I said, good night, dark and dark, whispering my love to it. And everybody's like, oh my god, did you really do this? And he's just like, give it back. Give me back my superpower. It's my only one. He's crying. And Kudo's looking at this. She's like, so this is Ando's power, huh? It's just dark fire. And it's not even hot. Actually, it's like lukewarm. This couldn't be used in combat. They're like, yeah, exactly. This power sucks. She's like, this superpower doesn't have any use at all. They're like, nope, none. Ando is like just being hit with bolts of lightning as they shit talk his superpower. It's real good. I like it.
Yeah.
Kudo's like,
they are busting his chops hardcore.
yeah, they really are. Kudo's like, well, maybe it has some kind of hidden power. And Hanako's like, no, it doesn't. This is when Ando anime dies. He's just laying on the ground, the spirit leaving his body. And she's like, wait a minute, so this is really just a meaningless power? And like, yep, exactly. She's like, huh, oh well. I've taken care of the small fry then. Haha, now the rest of you, come at me together. This is when Tomoyo walks up, and she's like, oh, are you next, Tomoyo? You ready to lose? Show me what your power can do. And she's like, no, I will not be doing that. She's like, why not? She's like, well, if I show you, you'll just steal it, won't you? There's no way I'd activate my power around you. When you stole Ando's power just now, you said, you've shown me. You showed me your power. And then you took it. So, I deduce that the condition for your powers is somebody activating it and you bearing witness to the moment that they activate it, and then you take it. Am I wrong? He's like, no. She's like, yeah, no, I'm right. Then we won't use any of our superpowers, and that means this fight is physical now. Kudo's saying,
so
so go ahead.
So like this moment in the show, like this exchange is when everything finally clicked for me.
Okay.
Because like it's like, and I realized kind of what I kind of like realized what to sort of expect from this show. It's not really gonna be like super flashy powers all the time. It's gonna be more weird rules and conditions for situations and like mind games between the characters.
I think so.
Which I believe the exact thing I wrote down was let's see. Oh, so this is some JoJo shit where it's all weird rules and mind games. Neat.
Neat.
And I am favorably comparing it to JoJo because the main draw of JoJo is that the powers are strange and the characters have to like outthink each other with them. Like that's the draw of the entire fucking franchise.
Right. Tomoyo asks her, can you beat all 5 of us on your own in like an actual like fucking fisticuffs? And she's like, you know what? I still have Ando's power, so... And they're like, yeah, you're just being naive. That power is honestly, truly, and utterly useless. It's like, and Ando's just crying. This is when Siiiigh walks up. She's like, I wouldn't even ask you to fight 5-on-1. As club president, I will fight you on our behalf. She's like, but you're... She's like, that's right. I have a black belt in both judo and karate. What of it? She gets. It's really great. We get a scene of a classic anime scene of like one character in the foreground and the other character being like big and shadowy in the background. There are flames everywhere. And Siiiigh is like, you gave me quite an awful scare, so I might forget to hold back a bit. And she puts her in an armbar, and she's screaming, I'm sorry, I'll apologize for everything I did, so please forgive me, please. I didn't really know anything, I just got carried away. It's really good. I like it. The club president leaves, and Hanako's like, what was all of that with Kudo-san? Like, what was that about? And like, who knows? That was weird. Apparently, Kudo-san awoke into her superpowers about a month ago, so like 5 months after they had already had them. And it's a power that on its own is useless, and she continued to live her life in fear, like confused about what's going on. But then about a week ago, she received a text message from an anonymous person that read, This message reads, "Be careful. In the literature club are those like yourself with superpowers." This is when Kudo started like doing surveillance on the literature club. To her, they were the objects of her fear because she didn't know what they could do, and she thought they were dangerous. So she was scared. She's like, I was scared. I'm sorry. I just suddenly woke up to these powers, and I was all alone. While there were 5 of you. I thought I'd be finished if you put me down, so I started to fight myself. We've seen that she gave Ando back his powers, and he's very happy about this. He's just like doing his flame thing. And Tomoyo says, but Kudo-san aside, our biggest problem is whoever sent that message. Like, who was it? This is when Siiiigh asked, do you think that our powers were actually awoken by somebody else? Is that possible? Everybody looks at Ando like, what's going to happen to us? Tomoyo says, we're just lucky that nothing's happened within these 6 months. I really hope something's not about to happen now. And we slowly pan out of the literature club to the outside, and somebody who we don't know starts talking. Some white-haired guy. He's like, so they defeated Kudo easily, did they? He's hanging upside down from a cherry blossom tree. And he's like, this guy's a Chunni too. I am 100% certain this guy is a fucking nerd.
I have attempted to sell my partner on this anime chiefly on the fact that there is a white-haired asshole in it, because that is their favorite character.
That's good.
Their absolute favorite.
He could use the monologue. I was saying, I decided to pay a visit since I was a bit worried, but yes, it would be interesting if that weren't the case. He smiles, and the show wins. To be continued.
And we get the end credits. The end credits are actually kind of interesting because Kudo is in the end credits, but not the opening credits.
Yeah, really weird. I don't know if that means that as more people with superpowers get introduced, they'll be added to credits. Maybe.
Maybe they might. I don't know if they're going to do like the evolving credits, like do a different one for each episode. Because I know there's only 12 episodes.
There's only 12 episodes.
So we might be getting new credits for each episode.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Who knows?
Or she might not even be back next week. It's all a mystery.
Oh no.
And I am trying very hard to not look up. I made sure to not Google this or no Wikipedia, no TV tropes. So I'm trying to do my best.
You're going in super blind. Okay. I only know. The only thing I know is what the keyframes on Crunchyroll show me, so I'm not looking up stuff, but we will see. I'm hoping it doesn't become a harem anime. That is my one goal. And the tags for this are school life and comedy, so I gotta hope that it doesn't decide to hit that harem anime, because there is just one guy.
So I always kind of liked harem anime, but I didn't. It wasn't like the fantasy of being like one guy surrounded by a bunch of hot ladies. Like that was never really the appeal for me. The appeal was more like, oh, look at all people who are friends with each other and maybe all fuck for fun sometimes. Like that was kind of the way my mind processed it, and that was the appeal for me. So the thing is, I just kind of realized one day, it's like, I don't want a harem. I just want a fucking polycule. I just want a group of friends who may or may not fuck each other for fun occasionally.
If you want an anime that kind of tackles that a little bit, or a manga that tackles that a little bit, there's Yuri Bearstorm, but that story is way all over the place. Very cute, super all over the place. Couldn't be more all over the place, to be honest.
But yeah, if there is a show that actually pulls off polyamory without drama, I would like to see it.
Yeah, I would. I mean, it's Yuri, so there is some drama, but that was a series that the creator just started throwing things at a wall just to see what would stick.
Yes,
it's very short.
Bears are lesbians, penguins are heterosexual, and frogs are gay.
All right then.
So that creator basically has a loose trilogy of shows: Mawaru Penguin Drum, Yurikuma Arashi, and I forget what the third one is. I forget what the third one is, but each of them is like not really romance themed, but like it's about relationships between people. And the first one is like about straight heterosexual interactions. The second one is about Yuri, and the third one is about yaoi, basically.
Huh.
So just kind of it's kind of a very loose trilogy, and each one also has like an animal theme. So like penguins, bears, and then frogs.
Huh.
It's interesting.
I did not know that. I only knew about Yuri Bearstorm. So this anime seems interesting. I like it.
I'm really hooked. Like I went in with no expectations, very much on purpose, and I was pleasantly surprised. It's got like the humor kind of really hit the mark for me.
Mm-hmm.
The characters seem fun to watch. I'm not really attached to them or anything after one episode, but like they seem like fun personalities to bounce off each other.
Right.
Which is like all you really want in a comedy.
Mm-hmm.
I am sorely tempted to just binge, but I think I'd rather watch it week to week.
Yeah, that's how I'm doing it. But we didn't get any questions or answers this week again. Got some likes. Real appreciated of those likes, but boy.
I even told them they could send in anything. I said they can send in literally anything.
Yeah, I mean, as always. But it's like, and I thought the question that I asked them super easy. What school club did you join, or what one did you want to join? Because, some schools don't have school clubs. Mine didn't. At all. And I blame Disney's Fillmore for making me so excited about school clubs. I don't know if you've ever watched Disney's Fillmore. But
Fillmore was really good.
Super good.
But it is not on Disney Plus for some fucking reason.
For some reason. I do not know. But, school, not like Fillmore. Not a bunch of clubs. At least where I went to school.
Yeah.
Anytime somebody tried to start a club, the administration would just shut it down. Because no teacher wanted to stay after school to, work on a club. You could join sports, you can join band, or you could join theater. That's it. Those are your clubs. And those are just school
I probably would
curriculums.
have been a theater kid.
I mean, I did some theater. I did some
I
band.
most assuredly would have been a theater kid because like I've taken acting classes in college, and it was some of the most fun I've ever had. Like singing karaoke, and the thing I enjoy most about being a DM is performing the characters and stuff.
Our theater teacher basically let us kind of just do whatever in class because he was too busy being focused on actual theater productions that the theater performers in the school were putting on. So if you weren't like in theater and just in like theater class, it was basically almost like a free period. Because there's just nothing, there's no assignments to give us basically. He did have a student aid 1 year, and we got like to like do stuff on stage that year, but yeah.
My acting teacher in college was super cool. Her name was Gary, and she was so much fun.
Nice. Strangely, my theater teacher's name was Gary.
Huh.
Yeah. Weird. Definitely different person. But
Probably, unless yours was a woman.
no, old guy. Choked a student out once.
Neat.
Yeah.
Because she was familiar with like Houston acting community, she actually knew some anime voice actors.
Oh, cool.
Who are also people I know from conventions, which is a fun little thing to kind of connect with her on. She also went to school with Jim Parsons, who, if you don't know, is from
that
Texas.
Terrible fucking show.
What?
I would say from that terrible fucking show.
From that terrible fucking show. Yeah.
I do not like The Big Bang Theory.
No, I think Jim Parsons is like an okay guy.
Yeah, he seems fine.
Yeah. They actually did acting classes together. I have nothing. Just a very fun fact. Anything else?
I mean, I guess I'll answer the question. The club I wanted to join, in school, was the anime club. I wanted to join the anime club. No anime club. Period. At all. So I'll answer the question I asked since nobody else did.
I answered the question.
Oh yeah, I guess you did too.
I said I'd be a theater kid.
Yeah. But to me, theater is not a club. It's like a class.
Okay. Well, okay. So like after school activity in general, I'd probably be a theater kid.
Yeah.
For a club, I don't know. I'd probably end up in like the anime club or maybe like the film club.
Yeah. Man, damn Disney's Fillmore for making like a bunch of cool fucking clubs. And then they're just not existing. Thought every school had like a cheese of the month club. They do not.
No.
Yeah, I don't got anything else.
Okay. Well, let's do our sign. Let's do our usual sign off.
All right, this is a new sign off. So, hey, Doc, where can people find you online if they want to like talk to you about stuff?
I am on Twitter way too much. Come and find me. I'm at Dr. Siiiigh Monster. That is at DRC Monster. Come and find me on Twitter where I am dunking on Ted Cruz.
As you should. Fuck Ted Cruz. You can find me, as always, on Twitter at ThatFirePrincess, spelled DAT. You can find me on the numerous podcasts I do, because I don't know the meaning of the word pacing myself. Nope. Sure don't. Such shows as Pining for the Falls, where we do this, but for Gravity Falls. The episodes are going to start getting very dark very soon.
We are about halfway through the second season, I believe.
Yeah, just about. Things are about to
we are
ramp up.
We're approaching that end game.
Yep. It's very fun. We have a lot of fun there. Nobody answers the questions on that podcast either. Or nobody asks us questions on that podcast either. It's like, I enjoy doing this podcast. I'd like a little more interaction from people. Something. One day. Just got to keep at it. So I think that's all we got. Fun show. And we'll just see how it evolves, because it's got to evolve. Or maybe it doesn't. Yeah. It could be just good like this. But, yeah, we'll see. So, until next time.
The demon energy is building up in my soul once again. We have to stop recording now before I fully transform into a true monster.
God damn it. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Jesus. Fuck.
せずててて